Hi friends, this is Dainty Tank. Thank you for joining me. Welcome back to Please Be Happy. This is part 8 or 9 in our series? I don't know, somewhere around there. But thank you for joining, thank you for hanging out, thank you for being here. Really happy to have you along this beautiful journey. So last we left off, we had the first day at work, which is great. Miho was so adorable. Oh my goodness. Really enjoyed that whole interaction. Although, I do think Willow Arkin mentioned something that really did stick out to me in one of the comments, which was that Aspen here is basically downing the fact that it was normal, boring life all the way through. And I was sitting there going, sorry, I have a friend on the lens. You don't need to be there. Sorry about that. Aspen was sitting there like, I had a normal, boring life. And I'm like, but you need to... That's a good thing. Having a normal, boring life is good. But Willow pointed out that there's so much to Aspen that's not a normal, boring life. Like, she has breakfast every day with a vampire and a fox. Kinda cool. Is a talented author making her own book, and a super awesome barista making her own drinks. That's so cool. It's a great point. Like, Aspen's not seeing how remarkable she really is.
Oh yeah, that's what happened.
Yes, it was. Thank you, Miho. Okay, this is chapter 3. Have a nice day.
Thanks. You too.
The kind old man takes his books under his arm and shuffles out of the library, a whoosh of cold air passing over me as the door opens and shuts.
Whew. Finally time for a break.
You get breaks? That's great. Take breaks. Unionize. Go. With no one else waiting to be helped, I glance around at the dozen or so people milling around before plopping myself down onto the cushion that Juliet set up for me behind the desk. Nice. Who knew that working would be such hard work? Facts. These past few weeks since I started helping out at the library have been a bit of a blur. There's always so much to do. At least most of it's pretty easy, like straightening out furniture or putting things away when they get left out. I don't know what the big deal is. I think it looks better when it's a little messy. But it's what Juliet asked me to do, so I did it. Talking to patrons, Aspen taught me that word. The patrons. Patrons. It's a very Aspen word to pick. Not like customers or like visitors. No, patrons. Is getting easier as well. The first few times someone came up to me for help, I was so nervous that I could barely speak. That's understandable. It's okay. It's your first job. There's so much to remember and still so much to learn. I still don't like talking to people in general, but it feels easier now. I get a little anxious when I see someone walking up to the counter, but it's not too bad. I get that. I used to work fast food for a while, and just the anxiety of someone walking up, like, oh god, I'm gonna have to type in an order. I'm gonna get wrong. No. I get it. Of course, everybody who comes up thinks it's my first day here. I mean, not that far off. Even though I've started to recognize some of the regulars, they never recognize me. Oh my god, you're right. Because you have the Gimyo curse, none of them can remember you past this one day. Although, if they come every day, they'd start to remember you, right? But I don't... How many people come every day to the library? And, like, regularly enough. But, like, wow. You are perpetually groundhog dang this whole, like, first day. They never recognize me. Aspen's the only one who comes by every day. What I didn't expect was that the hardest part would be checking out books for people. There's a sheet of paper with a bunch of little boxes in them, supposed to write the names of each person and the books they're taking. It was an honor system before. It could go back to mostly an honor system. Since I have to copy the letters by hand each time, it takes me a while. If someone has a lot of books or ones that are with really long titles, then it takes me even longer. I get you. Sometimes people get a little impatient, but I'm going as fast as I can. You are. It's okay, honey. Either way, it makes the days go by faster. I wouldn't really call it fun, but I don't hate it either. Having a bit of money that I earned rather than I stole feels surprisingly good too. At least I don't have to worry about someone trying to take it back. Facts. Yeah, if you steal, it's kind of a problem, because you're gonna you don't want any sort of cop activity there. Although with your Gemio curse, that's very interesting, because you wouldn't even be remembered. I feel the front door open again and look up to greet the new person, like Julia taught me. Turns out to be a familiar face, my nerves settling a little as the sight of her.
Hey, Miho.
Hey, it's the Aspen.
Hi, Aspen.
Oops. Sometimes I forget. I'm not supposed to be loud here.
Hi, Aspen.
Great job, voice actors. I say it again, but quieter. She comes up to the desk and sets down a couple books that she just checked out a few days ago.
Whoa. Done already?
That is very impressive.
One of them I simply couldn't put down because I had to know how the story ends.
That's fair.
I was worried it would have a sad conclusion, but the ghost girl becomes real and gets to stay with her girlfriend, and they all live happily ever after.
Oh my god, oh my god, oh my god. Okay, hold on. If you don't know, this is made and produced by the visual novel studio Alien. In which they have, and I link it actually to this one because it reminded me so much of it. It's called Heart of the Woods, in which that is the conclusion. Ghost girl becomes real and gets to stay with a girlfriend. Yeah, that's the conclusion. Well, that end, there's also, Morgan doesn't get sacrificed, to the evil spirit and instead gets to end up living with her girlfriend, who is an awesome trans YouTuber. So sweet news there. I love the subtle, like, blink to Heart of the Woods there. I see you. And if you haven't seen it, go see it. You're gonna see, like, some very old videos of me now, but it's a lot of fun.
The other book was unreadable, unfortunately. I won't be trying that author again.
Okay.
That's too bad. Should I tell Julia we can get rid of this one?
Don't get rid of a book. Just because it's not for Aspen doesn't mean it's not for everybody.
Well, it's not that terrible. I'm sure someone out there could enjoy it, just not me.
Aspen is not the end-all be-all of books.
If you say so.
I do. It seems to me like if Aspen doesn't like a book, then the book must be really, really bad. Maybe I'll ask Juliet about it later anyway. For now, though, I start copying the titles down onto the returns sheet, while Aspen goes off to find new books. She comes back right as I'm finishing up, with a small stack in her hands.
You find books as fast as you finish them.
Oh yeah, there's probably like a whole list in her brain that I would normally be keeping on the phone.
If only. I knew exactly what I was looking for this time.
Oh. She hands me the pile and I begin writing the names down. I can feel her watching me as my hand makes each slow line.
Say, Miho.
Yeah, are you gonna say something about it? I have to finish the letter I'm working on before I can pay attention to Aspen.
Yeah?
Have you,
No. She wrings her hands, looking like she's unsure how to ask her question. Aspen seems to think a lot before she speaks, so I've learned that sometimes it's easier to just make her spit it out.
Just say it. I don't mind.
Sure enough, her eyes widen but she stops fidgeting.
have you ever considered learning to read and write? It would probably probably save you quite a bit of time.
True. I look down at the massive scribbles on the paper in front of me. Even though I wrote them, they don't mean anything to me. Juliet never seems to have an issue, though, so it's good enough for me.
Not really. I've gotten by fine without it so far.
That's fair.
Oh, come on. You can't keep using that excuse for everything. You've been here for more than a month now.
A month? This is... Dude... Aspen, have patience. Oh my god. Day 3, you were like, hey, get a job. This is 1 month and you're like, hey, learn how to read and write. You're asking a lot of someone who just became a human.
Well...
She does have a point. I told myself so many times that I was going to stop letting my past define me. But still, reading and writing? It would be useful, it's true, with so many la 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 la
I don't
la.
even know how to start doing that.
There was words and I pressed the button. I'm sorry.
I'd be happy to help you, and I'm sure Juliet would too. She'd be delighted if you picked it up.
Okay. Can I have lessons with Juliet? I'd be fine with that. Her usual quiet voice starts to raise, only adding to my doubts.
I'll think about it, I guess.
That's fair.
No, I won't take no for an answer.
Well, why? You should. Please take no for an answer.
I'll do some research when I get home and bring some materials later. We can make a lesson plan and a schedule and...
Whoa, whoa, whoa. Don't I get any say in this?
Yeah, you should. You have consent and bodily autonomy.
You didn't say no, and that's enough for me.
You didn't give her the chance to say no, Aspen.
Oh, but that isn't what I came here to talk to you about.
Oh.
Aren't you here to get books?
Right, that too. But anyway...
Aspen reaches into her purse and pulls out a slightly crumpled flyer, which she hands to me. Looking at the glossy cover, it's covered in pictures of little vases, statues, and old-looking things.
There's an exhibition at Te Papa about Korean history and culture, for a limited time only.
Ooh, Korean history. Thought you might be interested.
An exhibit at your dad?
Te Papa!
No, it's our biggest museum. Te Papa is one of the most interesting places in Wellington, perhaps even New Zealand as a whole. You can enter for free, so that isn't a concern. Look, there's even a map of how to get there on the back.
After I flip the flyer over, she points to a map of Wellington that's very similar to the one I used on my first day here.
This is the Bell House, so you just go up this road, turn here, then here.
I nod as she explains, but it isn't really necessary. I may not be able to read, but I can at least use a map.
Anyway, it's only open when I'm at work, so I won't be able to join you. But I imagine you might appreciate having some time to yourself too.
That's true, and we can't take Juliet because, vampire.
Now that you mention it... Yeah.
Yeah. It's been a long time since I've had a moment to myself. Other than when I go to bed, I'm always around Aspen or Juliet, or the patrons of the library. That's another big change in me. I'm noticing them more and more these days.
I'll check it out. Thanks. Maybe they'll have something that can help me find my person.
Aspen smiles, but it's a thin smile, like she's once again holding back from saying something. This time, however, she doesn't give me a chance to make her say it. Okay.
Perhaps, yes. Right, well, I need to get back to work. My break will be over soon.
You came on your break?
I just wanted to pick these up so I have something to read during any downtime at my shift.
Fair.
I'll see you this evening after I look up some reading resources. Tell Juliet I said hello.
Okay.
Will do. Bye.
With a smile, Aspen blows a kiss, then quickly spins around and heads out the door, leaving me standing about with a flyer in my hands. Well, Aspen's getting comfortable. Without any patrons waiting around, I take a closer look at some of the artifacts on the pages. Most are cracked and worn with age, but still have a little color in them. A couple have writing on them that I can tell is different language from the one I've been getting used to copying here. In a way, they seem kind of familiar. Not just familiar, but nostalgic? Like they're related to a memory that's just out of reach. I don't know if it'll bring me any answers, but maybe there'll be something interesting to see.
Hiya. I've got these to check out, please.
Hiya. I quickly tucked the pamphlet into one of my pockets, turning to greet the young boy eagerly waiting at the counter with several books to check out. He's got a very adorably queer hiya.
You got it.
You got it. I lift the first book off the stack and slowly begin my process. Maybe Aspen's lessons won't be so bad after all. Alright. Closing time finally comes around, the patrons slowly trickling out. Some of them linger for a while, making their final selections before bringing them up to the counter. Fortunately, Juliet's here to help me. Or I'd take all night to get through the line of people waiting.
Thank you very much, Miss Callahan. We'll see you next time.
Yes, Miss Callahan.
Oh, Dottie. Glad to see you're still reading Pullman. Only one left to go in the series.
Oh, good job, Dottie.
Bye-bye, Abdul. Bye-bye, Jamar.
Bye-bye. In the time it takes me to finish writing down one person's checkouts, Juliet can get through 5. She even knows everybody by name, as well as their reading habits. Always impresses me. How does she keep track of them all? We finally managed to get through everyone, a sigh of relief escaping as the last patron heads out.
Oh, thank you.
Hello! My ears prick up at the sound of Aspen's voice as the patron holds the door open for her.
Sorry, we're closed.
Oh, that was cheeky. Good job. It was very cheeky. Hello, little bug. I'm sorry. I can't have you on the camera. Sorry if you've had any sort of bug time with the camera. Hopefully you haven't. But look at Juliet's eyebrow there. Just, I see you. Aspen hesitates for a moment as she walks up to the desk, but then laughs.
You almost had me for a moment.
Yeah, that makes sense. I collapse onto my cushion while Juliet puts everything away under the desk.
Excellent work today, Miho. You're getting better and better.
Nice.
Am I? It doesn't really feel like it.
It can be hard to notice your own progress sometimes, but I promise it's there.
And it's only going to get better. Look what I brought.
Uh-oh. She raps her knuckles against the pile of thin books she brought with her. There's also a small bag that rattles when she moves it.
Are those?
Yes, they're the phonic books I said I'd bring by.
Oh dear, oh dear.
Phonics? Why, Miho? Have you decided to learn to read?
Well, no. Not at all. Aspen voluntold.
Well, Aspen decided for me, but I guess so.
There it is. I pick up one of the books from Aspen's pile. The words on it are big and written in very simple style. So are the pictures that go along with it. I've spent enough time in the library now to recognize these kinds of books are meant for little kids. But I guess that's what I need, isn't it? It's embarrassing, but maybe I can just use that as motivation to learn faster. And if I end up hating it, I can just quit. Like always, I have the option of running away from something I don't like. Still holding the book, I look up and see Juliet and Aspen both watching me, waiting to see what I'll say. I take a deep breath and then smile.
So, how do I start?
Good job. It's always tempting to run away from something that's new or a big change. And it's really, really good to see Miho take a deep breath and decide to go forward. It's really cool. Both of them break into a grin as well.
I have just the thing. Come with me.
Uh-oh. Corner? Aspen's so eager that she barely waits for Juliet and I to step out from behind the counter before leading us to a table beside the aisle of books. Guessing that I'll be here a while, I pull up a seat while a curious Juliet hovers over my shoulder. She sits down and begins unpacking the bag that she brought onto the table. Turning out to be a bunch of pens and pencils, she hands me one before placing a small workbook in front of me.
Let's start with the alphabet. Juliet, would you mind? Your handwriting is much better than mine.
Okay.
Gladly.
Realizing she's going to be a part of it, she quickly takes a seat to the other side and selects a sleek black pen. Opening the book, she brings her pen to one of the blank lines.
So, to begin with, this is the letter A.
The two of them take turns going through the different letters of the alphabet and showing me how to write them. Although I have a hard time remembering which is which, I pick up the writing part pretty fast since I've had a lot of experience at work already. Each of them writes an example letter at the top of the page first, before I can take my turn to try it. Juliet's handwriting is very precise and clean. It reminds me of something you'd see on an advertisement or book. I mean, she's a vampire. She's had a long time to perfect that. Aspen's, on the other hand, is almost as messy as mine. Sometimes I'm not sure she's even writing the same letters as Juliet and I. No, she's literally a writer. She's got her own type of shorthand. After we get through the whole alphabet, they quiz me by holding up the cards on different letters and asking me to write them. To name them. I can get a lot of them wrong, but I do get a lot of them right too. Nice. Aspen finally calls it quits for the night and I'm a little bit disappointed.
So, how do you feel? I think you made very good progress for this being your first night.
Indeed. You should be proud of yourself, Miho.
I can't keep a little smile off my face. Maybe I am a little proud.
It was more fun than I thought it'd be. It was tough at first, but I think I'm getting the hang of it.
Nice.
You certainly are.
Yes, if you work on it a little bit each night, I'm sure you'll make great progress.
The workbook that Aspen gave me already has a few pages complete because of how fast we are going.
Do you think I can learn to read by the end of this week?
Not quite. The two of them exchange. Okay. The look the two of them exchange tells me my answer.
Well,
Not quite now. But
Not that quickly, I'm afraid. Even for the fastest learners, it still takes a few months to make much progress in reading.
reading is complicated. Reading is hard. I have dyslexia. Reading is harder.
Going by how quickly you picked this much up, though, I think you'll do just fine.
Facts.
Oh, I see.
Oh, it's okay. You're doing good. Every step you take is good. It's good progress. I'd been expecting this to take a few nights at most, but months? That's a lot longer than I was anticipating. Especially since it's her first month. Aspen. I must look disappointed because Aspen frowns and leans forward.
don't worry, I'm sure that time will fly by. As long as you're getting a little better every day, you'll be able to notice the results soon. Here, why don't you try this?
Aspen gets up from the desk and maneuvers behind me, putting her hand on top of mine. It's a little shaky, and I notice her face is red as she makes a point not to look at me. I almost jerk it away out of instinct, but keep my cool instead. I'm not used to people touching me, but I know that with Aspen, it's just a friendly gesture.
Here, follow these lines.
I love how Juliet's like, I see you, Aspen. She gently guides my hand up and down and along the paper, slowly forming the letters on the page with me. After 4 letters, she stops and scurries back to her chair. Juliet's snort of amusement from my side only confuses me further.
Can you read what that says?
I look down. The word on the page looks familiar. I squeeze my eyes shut. Picture the cards that they were holding up, and with each letter sounded like... Me.
Miho!
Miho! It's your name. With a jolt, I realize it's my own name. Juliet and Aspen both clap excitedly. Yay! A blush forming on my cheeks.
Yes! You did it!
Good job. You're like the most adorable little lesbian parents. Good job. I still can't shake the feeling that it's kind of embarrassing to have them cheer me on for something so simple. It's okay. I know if you feel that kind of embarrassment, you shouldn't. I understand your feelings are valid, but it's okay to be early in your struggles, and it's good that you're excited to change and get better and improve yourself, and this is really cool. Super cool. Looking down at the paper with my name on it though, I have to smile a little too. As you should. One day and you got your name. This is the first time I've written my own name, even if I did have Aspen's help. It's the first time I've read it myself too. I stare at it intently, committing the shape of those letters and the motions to make them into my memory. I've used so many names in my life, but for some reason, this one feels a little bit special. It does. Just for good measure, I write it down a few more times to practice. Each time, it gets a little bit less shaky and more legible. Nice.
Thank you. Seriously.
Seriously. I love this. And I want to tell you why I love this. I'm gonna take a Dainty Tank veered time for just a minute here. And I want to make sure that I'm communicating my feelings on this so well. She's having to learn her own name and writing it for the first time, which is something that trans individuals who have changed their name, or even just any individuals who've changed their name, has to go through, is feeling out how does it feel to write it, and then getting used to that motion. Because innately, if you're sitting there doing a signature, you're not going to think about it for even half a second once you start to get used to it. But if you change your name, you have to actually be very mindful and meaningful for it. So you have to actually practice sometimes to write your name in a legible sense, in a timely sense, because you can't take too much time when you're signing something. So Miho's struggle here, it just reminds me so much of Trans Journey. A lot of what she does actually reminds me of Trans Journey because she's transitioning effectively from a fox into a human. So, not quite one-to-one, but, you know, there is a lot of parallels in her changes and struggles as she's going. And it really, really brings me joy to see it. Even if it wasn't my idea to start with, it feels like a new milestone in my life already. The start of something that's new. I can add that to my list. Yeah, you can.
It's our pleasure.
Right. Especially since, I did kind of force you into it.
Thank you for acknowledging that. Thank you, game. I love it when a game will break your trust and then comes back to it and goes, I'm sorry, I shouldn't have done that. Yes. Yes. That is real. That is real cycles.
It's okay. Turns out I need people to make me do stuff sometimes.
That's fair. Thank you for acknowledging it, though.
I'm certainly good at that. You'll have to wait until tomorrow for more, though. I've already stayed a bit too late as it is.
That's okay.
Oh my, I hadn't even noticed the time. It sure did fly by, didn't it?
A little bit. As she gets up to leave, Juliet and I take her to our feet as well before realizing it, let out a yawn.
I'll leave all this stuff with you, Miho, so you can study at your own pace. I'll try to come by at nights as well to help you practice.
Oh, you're so nice. Thank you for giving up your night, especially when you're trying to get through all of your different writings.
And you're always welcome to ask me for advice too.
Oh, I will. Don't worry.
Thanks. I'm gonna practice during work too, when I don't have anything else to do.
That's a good idea.
That sounds wonderful. Good night, you two. Thanks for having me over.
Bye, Aspen.
Good night, Aspen. We'll see you soon.
We'll see you soon. With her trademark smile and wave, Aspen leaves the library. The two of us watch her go as she heads out into the night's darkness outside.
I imagine you must be tired too, right?
Yeah. Now that you mention it, I really am.
My hands are sore from all the writing, and my palm is colored gray with smeared pencil lead and ink.
Can't believe that wore me out.
Understandable, but actually your brain uses more calories than you physically moving, which is weird.
You had a full day of work too. You should get some rest. I'll finish cleaning up and preparing for tomorrow.
Thank you.
Are you sure? I didn't really do many of my chores today.
I'm certain. Go on, go to bed.
Aw, thank you, Juliet. Secretly glad to be heading to bed rather than doing more work, I start to head out. As I look back, Juliet playfully waves me out of the room.
Good night. And thanks again.
You're welcome.
You're always welcome, Miho. Have a good night.
With a pause from another yawn, I stretch and head up the stairs. I'm going to sleep well tonight. As I lie in bed and wait for sleep to take me, I reflect on my day like always. Today was a good day. I accomplished a lot, and I feel proud of myself. As you should. I can tell that Juliet and Aspen are proud of me, too. That's taken some getting used to. It still weirds me out to think that people care about me. That they think of me, even when I'm not around them. They're excited for me about things that don't affect them. It's weird, but in a good way. Aww. Now that I think about it, it's been a while since I've had a bad day. 'Cause you've had a bad day. No. The shock and uneasiness of having a safe place to live, stable life has worn off, and my daily routine has become just that. Routine. That's good. That's good. Like, as we've talked about with Miho here, she's literally come from a survival stance where she was going and doing survival tasks day by day. Being in a safe space is a big change. Oops, I pressed the button. Oh well. I thought I'd never get used to things like this, but that they'll never be real for me? Well, it turns out I was wrong. Rather than constantly overthink everything, I've gotten better at just going with the flow. And I think that's something to be proud of too. It is. Rolling onto my side, I look over around my room. It hasn't changed too much since I moved in, but it feels distinctly mine. This isn't just a space that I happen to be in. Smiling, I close my eyes and roll on to my other side. Just when did I become so sentimental? It's hard to say, but maybe that's okay too. I don't mind who I am right now, and my friends don't either. That's enough for me. Oh. With peaceful thoughts like that drifting through my mind, I also drift off to sleep. Oh, so cute. Ah, so cute. I love that. Work's been quiet today, with only a handful of patrons coming in at all. The few still here keep to themselves, quietly reading and browsing the aisles. I'd normally be bored on a day like this. It's a good thing that I have something new to keep me occupied during my downtime then. I was about to say, it's been a month, and so we haven't really gotten to check on things around town. A few of the worksheets and books that Aspen gave me yesterday are spread out on the desk, out of the way of our guests, but still where I can see them. Whenever I get a few minutes to myself, I practice writing letters or memorizing their sounds. When I have to write down titles that are being checked out, I pay more attention to what exactly I'm writing. I'm pleased to notice that it goes faster now than it did before. Nice! Level up! I still have a long way to go, but I feel myself making progress with each word I finish. That sense of pride helps motivate me to keep trying. Even when I'm away from my desk, tidying things or putting books away, I try to focus on letters and words. It's nice to have something to focus on rather than just trying to find ways to fill the hours. Hi. Just as I settled back down to work after a quick lunch. Lunch? Oh my goodness, Juliet's out during the day. Juliet comes down from her room with a folded parasol in her hand. With a calm nod of greeting, she walks up and joins me behind the desk.
Hey, you're up early.
Yeah, you are.
Yes, I had some daylight errands to attend to. How are you doing, Mia?
Daylight errands. So you you have a parasol. You Oh, that's not a cane. It's an umbrella. It's a parasol. Oh, I got it. Oh, for the sunlight.
Great. Check it out.
I show her one of the worksheets, which was really just a blank piece of paper. On it, I've written my name over and over to practice. The first few, okay, most of them, are fairly messy. I think I get a hang of it by the end of the page, though, and those ones are more legible. I offer the page to Juliet, who looks it over with a smile.
Great job! I'm very proud of you.
I like hearing Juliet say that.
Thanks. I'm proud of me too. What kind of errands are you running? Need any help?
Oh, bring me with.
Not this time. I'm just making a couple deliveries that can't wait until the evening. Will you be alright here by yourself?
I mean, isn't she all the time because you're asleep?
Yep. I think I've got the hang of everything by now.
I'm pretty used to handling my duties on my own. If there ever was a problem, it wouldn't be too hard to go find Juliet or get her help. That hasn't happened yet, thankfully.
Excellent. I know I've said it before, but you've been a great help around the library. I appreciate your hard work.
Oh, it's not that hard. Besides, it gives me something to do.
That's nice to hear. Don't forget to take some time for yourself, and have fun every now and then, though.
Yes, please. I think that's some advice that Juliet herself should follow more often, but I keep that opinion to myself.
I will. Actually, I'm going to the museum after this. Aspen told me there's an exhibit all about Korea going on there. So, I'm hoping maybe I'll learn something useful.
Useful?
Yeah, like about my person.
Oh.
Oh, I see.
Juliet gives me the same small smile that Aspen did when I mentioned my person yesterday. I know they think it's probably hopeless, but I can't give up. I don't understand how they don't understand, since both of them always talk about caring for those close to you and making lasting bonds. Still, Aspen and Juliet have both done too much for me to hold that against them.
Well, I wish you the very best of luck. You know you can always ask me for help if you need any.
I do. I will.
I know. Thanks.
Anytime. I'm going to head out now, but I'll make sure to come back early enough for you to go to Tipapa.
How did you know it was Tipapa?
Sounds good. I'll keep studying and working until then. Bye!
Goodbye, Miho.
Oh, the parasol! Oh, so cute. As Juliet goes out the front door, she pops open her parasol to protect her from the sun, then strolls out and joins the day's crowds. I stare at the now closed door, thinking. Wonder if Aspen or Juliet have ever felt the same way about someone as I have about my person. It's a hard feeling to describe. Something warm. I may have forgotten a lot over the years, but I've never forgotten their face or voice or the way they smelled, like charcoal and paint. All those things are too important for me to forget. It's kept me going my whole life, been my entire reason for existence. At least until arriving in Wellington, anyway. Even with my new life here, I can't just abandon my old one. Not entirely. Maybe they just don't know how much it means to me. I couldn't blame them, since I've never told them all about how little I cared about everything else. Maybe they think it's like a hobby, something to pursue when I have nothing else to do. But even here in the library, surrounded by my friends and busying myself with my job, not a day goes by where I don't think of that force back in Korea and my person. It's okay if Aspen and Juliet don't understand. They don't need to. It's important to me, and that's all that matters. So far, they've supported me in whatever I do. That's very true. It doesn't matter the fact that they don't quite understand it, because they're still supportive of it. And that matters. That matters a lot. In fact, when I think about those two, I feel a similar way as when I think about my person. That warm, safe feeling. It's not exactly the same, but it's close. I don't think that's a coincidence. There have been lots of new feelings that I don't quite have words for, like so many other parts of myself. I'm still figuring them out. That's fair. That may take time, but I have plenty of it. Realizing that I've zoned out, I pull myself away from my thoughts to get back to focusing on work and studying. I may have lots of time, but I need to make sure I use it well. Only an hour or two later, I look up from my work to see Juliet returning from her errands. Folding up her parasol, she soon joins me at the front desk again.
Hello again, Miho. I tried to hurry back so you'd have plenty of time at the museum. You can go ahead and head off. I can handle the library for the rest of the day.
Oh, thank you.
Cool, thanks. I tried to clean up and do as much as I could before you got back.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Enjoy yourself. You'll have to tell me all about it when you get back.
Oh, will do.
Will do.
Okay. I put away my study materials in my room, and then with a big thumbs up to Juliet, leave the library. And I think that's where we're going to leave it today. Thank you for joining. Thank you for hanging out. Subscribe, because it helps grow the channel, and the more subscribers we have, the more options we have on YouTube itself to do more with the channel. So, subscribe to help the channel because it's still small. With that, I love you all. I'll see you next time. Bye.